All right, on Twitter, Hoke has just broken it. @_Jay Hokanson on 3 Sports Auburn Live at Auburn Live on 3. Hoke, do you need to take seriously? If you need to take it, we'll come back to you. You good?
You're good.
You sure? All right.
Yeah, you're good.
All right, Hoke, just breaking the news. Barrett touched on it earlier. He didn't report it. We didn't report it. You're reporting it. Austin Davis, the new offensive coordinator at Auburn.
Yeah. It happened. We reported, I guess it was Sunday night, that Brian Harsin spoke with Pete Carroll about Austin Davis, and then Brian Harsin had a formal, a more formal interview with Austin on Monday. And they've been talking throughout, good conversations, and they had kind of a formal deal on Monday. And then this morning, offer was extended and accepted by Austin Davis. He will be Auburn's next offensive coordinator. At this point, it's just a matter of working through logistics, on the NFL season and in his NFL schedule. And does he finish there? Does he come over to Auburn? What happens there? And so, so he'll be the guy. And then in the report, we expect Brian Harsin to call plays. And Austin Davis, we expect to come in and be the quarterback's coach and coordinate the offense. But as of right now, we expect Harsin to actually be the play caller.
So, but he did not do that this year, right? That was all Bobo?
Right.
Okay. Interesting.
So Austin obviously played at Southern Miss, but as far as coaching, he's got no college experience at all. Was there a connection between Brian Harsin and Austin Davis?
I don't know that. Some people have asked that, and I'm not sure. It happened really last week. Whatever day we reported that Zach Hill was not a part of the discussion anymore. They moved on from Zach Hill. It just came up. I don't know the connection. I don't know where Austin Davis came from. Obviously he's from Mississippi, played at Southern Miss, so it's possible that somebody reached out and said, hey, here's a guy that would love to come back to the South and maybe get back into college football. That wouldn't shock me. That wouldn't shock me at all. But I don't know what the initial I don't know what the initial connection is, but I do know that Austin Davis loves the South and loves college football. And when this opportunity came up, was all about it, just assuming that he and Harsin hit it off, which it seems like they did.
One of the reasons I think we have the smartest audience in sports talk and sports video is because of guests like Justin Hokanson. You told us the last time you were on with us, Hoke, that Auburn was holding a bunch of commitments, public commitments, until they can make sort of a surge. Well, they have done that. Has it been exactly what you thought it would be? Has there been a couple that have surprised you along the way to get Auburn now into a top 15, approaching a top 10 class?
It's pretty much played out how we thought. The last 2 days, Monday, Tuesday, and then kind of what's happened today. I mean, they were in great position for the guys that they landed. They obviously were pushing hard for Demario Tolan, who's a guy that stuck with LSU. I'm forgetting somebody else. I think there was one other that they were pushing. The running back that went to Tennessee this morning, Justin Williams, they were pushing for him as well. And he chose Tennessee. So other than those two, they've pretty much hit on everybody that they thought they would land so far. Now you got, of course, Curtis Perry coming up any moment that we think Alabama, and that Auburn did a great job with. Central Florida did a great job too. Those relationships with Gus Malzahn and T. Will did really good as well. But Curtis Perry, and then of course you got Darius Clemens coming up at 2, that probably leaning Michigan there. So those would be, Auburn's going to finish really well. Those would be national guys that, Auburn may not just completely finish the day off icing on the cake like they would have wanted, but we'll see. They're still pushing for Clemens, but they got a lot of important pieces, it looks like.
Justin Hokanson is on the Pepsi Hotline. A lot going on in this interview. Hoke just broke before he came on with us that Auburn is hiring Austin Davis as offensive coordinator. He tells us Brian Harsin will call the plays. Davis will be more of a quarterback coach, offensive coordinator type. And we're also talking National Signing Day. AuburnLive.com @_Jay Hokanson on Twitter to follow Hoke. He is with us on the Pepsi Hotline. This is kind of a recruiting plus something else question. The quarterback spot with Bo Nix gone. We've seen TJ Finley. Is Auburn's potential starting quarterback in this signing class? Is it a transfer portal guy? Is he already on the team? Well, how does this signing class factor into the quarterback race?
I know they love Holden Gerner. Okay, so I can say that. I know they love him. That was actually part of Brian Harson's pitch to Austin Davis was, hey, we've got a kid coming in that we think's a winner. So I know that. I know that was part of their discussions and part of Harson saying, hey, we got a guy here that you can come in and develop, and we think he's got a ton of potential. Now, is that next year? I don't know. I mean, who knows? It's hard to count on that. It's hard to predict that. It's hard to say that that's going to happen. I guess it's possible. I think Auburn will go in the transfer portal after an experienced college quarterback. Who that will be? I mean, there's some good options. The first guy that comes to mind is Slovis from USC. I think that makes a lot of sense. And now you factor in Austin Davis, who is a young guy, quarterback coach of the Seahawks on the West Coast. Russell Wilson might be an angle there for him to go after Slovis from USC and say, hey, I played in the NFL, quarterback, I can develop you, kind of deal. That's me speculating some, but just sort of seeing the potential there. I think it makes sense. So I would imagine Auburn goes after a college quarterback to get to transfer in there and compete with TJ Finley, and then let D Davis and Holden Gerner get snaps and compete as well. But I think you need one more experienced guy.
You know, back to Bo Nix. I was still shocked that Bo actually entered the transfer portal. When do you think the conversation started to take place between Bo and Brian? And ultimately, why do you think Bo made that decision? And do you think Bo actually knows where he is going?
I feel like Bo, I don't know about no. I think there's a couple schools, so I don't know if Bo has for sure the one school it's already done. I don't know that, but I do feel like there's a couple that it's going to be, and it's probably a couple that it was going to be for a while, unless something falls through, whether it's Ole Miss, Cincinnati, Central Florida. I feel like one of those three makes a ton of sense. I do know that he had in the transfer portal, he had in there to not contact him, which generally means you either know or you've got your three, and you don't need to hear from anybody else. Not surprised that he's transferring at all. I just think it was just a combination of a ton of things, really. Like, he's graduated. He's got the COVID year, so he's got potentially 2 years. You got a new OC coming in at Auburn. That would be his fourth in 4 years. You have a rebuilt Auburn offensive line and receiver are going to be question marks. You have 3 years of intense scrutiny and criticism on Bo Nix from the Auburn fan base that I think has weighed on his family, probably more than Bo. So I just think it was a combination of things that made it make sense for Bo to move on, part ways, get a clean slate, play somewhere where all this baggage isn't there, and go try to make the NFL and let Auburn. And part of me wonders if Harsin didn't fight it. Like, hey, we'd love to have you, but I don't know how hard Harsin fought necessarily. Like, you make your decision and we'll be good with it, kind of thing. So didn't really surprise me that he moved on, and I kind of think it's probably better for everybody, honestly.
I'm looking at the class of the commitments thus far. You got a quarterback, you got a stud running back. The secondary looks unbelievable. Where are the receivers, Hoke? I mean, the sport has turned into such a receivers game. Where are the receivers, and is there something coming down the line soon, maybe in the portal for the receiver position?
Yeah, they need to hit that. You got Jay Fair and you got Camden Brown. We'll see if they can hit Darius Clemens. And if they miss on him, then yeah, maybe you go portal. We had heard some rumors with some guys, Weeze from Oklahoma, and so we'll see if they can land a big time playmaker. I mean, you got Kobe Hudson coming back, and you got Javaris Johnson. You've got some guys, but they need Darius Clemens would be massive. I mean, that's an instant impact type of player. Jay Fair is similar to Javaris Johnson, and Camden Brown's a big target, but he's probably a little raw. So they definitely need an uptick in receivers, but probably more so is offensive line. Look, I know Auburn's going to finish with a good class, and they're going to finish strong, and there's a lot of good things to take from that. But you're going to look at this class again and go, where are the offensive linemen? And until that starts to ramp up, you have to take Auburn's classes with a little bit of grain of salt. You have to say, great job, but there's going to be a but attached to that until Auburn starts landing the type of offensive lineman that can handle Georgia, Alabama, Texas A&M, LSU defensive lines. That's where Auburn really needs to to pick it up. Transfer portal, they got to land some really good players there.
Yeah, it really plagued the end of the Gus Malzahn era, and as you say, it is an issue again. As Hoke told you when he started, he expected Curtis Perry to pick Alabama. He did just a few moments ago down at Pike Road. So that was anticipated by the On3 Sports people. I think you heard Chad Simmons say the same thing earlier. All right, Hoke, great work, man. A lot going on. Oh, I do mean to ask you. I'm sorry, and I know Lance has got another one. Your colleague Chad Simmons, when he was with us earlier, mentioned that Derek Mason might be in line to replace Mike Elko at Texas A&M. What is the latest you can tell us from the Auburn side on that?
I don't know anything official. I've heard that. That's about all I know. I've heard it about within this last week. I heard it from people that I would certainly believe that's a possibility. I don't know. Maybe it's further down the road than we know. I don't know that. But I have heard it as a possibility, and gosh, I mean, hard to blame Derek Mason. I mean, you're looking over there, looking at what A&M's racking up on defense, and that wouldn't be too hard to coach. So probably gonna throw a lot of money at him too. Yeah. So what's funny is that's kind of leaked a little bit on our message boards, and after the first few games, everybody was ready to get Kevin Steele back, and then Mason I think settled in and did a fine job, and then the Alabama game, of course, was fantastic. And then all of a sudden it's the thought of Mason might leave and everybody's, wants to keep him. It's funny how quickly people will change their opinion on him as soon as it looks like they're going to leave.
Hey, we're jumping way out in front of this, but if he did take off and go to College Station, is there somebody on that staff that would be a natural guy that would be promoted?
Oh, boy. I don't think so. I mean, I don't think so. Like I would say Jeff Schmedding potentially, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure that guy is there. But what we do know is that Brian Harsin, what he did learn after this first year is he's going to get guys around him that he can build his program with, and that's guys that he can trust. So would it shock me if somebody like Schmedding was promoted? No, but I'm not sure that that's the move.
Can you confirm that you'll wear the orange jerseys for the bowl games?
I do not know that.
Obviously a joke.
It's always a message board rumor there.
Yes.
All right. Listen, a lot going on, as you can tell, and will continue going on. So go follow Hoke on Twitter @_J Hokanson. Auburn is at on3.com, On3 Sports, Auburn Live, all those things. Go follow them. Go read them. And support Hokanson and all those guys there. Justin,
go pay them.
Pay them. Get a subscription. Thank you for the time, Hoke. Have a good rest of the day, man.
You got it. Thanks, guys. Thanks so much.
All right, buddy. Justin Hokanson with us on the Pepsi Hotline with a lot there. A lot.
Yeah. Go pay them so we don't have to.
That's right. A lot there.